I never thought I'd become a victim. I don't know if I'll ever feel safe again. The night I moved into the house, I was woken up by a rattling of our back door. Then I heard the same thing happening at the front door.
It was like they were wanting us to know they were trying to break in.
My greatest fear is someone in the middle of the night coming into my room and murdering me.
I could see someone walking up the driveway. And at that point, it felt like a good time to call the police.
Jack, the guy I was seeing at the time, went outside and realised his motorbike was missing.
It was such a relief. It was just some crazy person trying to steal our stuff.
About a week later, I stayed at Jack's place. The next morning, he messaged me. Is this my ex-partner? Is this John? John always had this purple hoodie on. And he was always chewing gum. I would bump into him just about anywhere I was. He was messaging me all the time. I was out of town and I came back on the bus, got off at the bus depot, and I bowled straight into him. I just thought it was the actions of a sad, broken-hearted boy. I called the police and I explained about the purple hoodie, and they said, well, there are lots of purple hoodies. The chewing gum on the door handle, while lots of people chew chewing gum. The police said to me that because there was no real proof, that there was no real legal help that they could give me. One of the few things I could do would be to get trespass notices, but I would need to physically give it to him. I was like, I don't want to be anywhere near him. Can someone else give it to him? And they said, no, you have to give it to him. I gave them to him, and he just about put his fist through a wall. I can remember my mum making a comment that she was terrified I was going to end up in a suitcase. She said, May, this isn't heartbreak, he's angry.
I was really scared. Scared for myself, scared for her.
He'd tried to get him once, so he could try to do that again.
We installed our own security cameras. Once we had those, we all felt a lot safer.
We were hearing less and less from May about what was happening, so we were starting to feel like maybe this thing is over.
One Friday night, Jude and I were going to a gig. Ben was at work drinks and May was staying home with Jack. I didn't want to take a bag with me, so I put my key under the most obvious pot plant, right beside the front door.
In our lounge, there was this big open window. And I just had this real intense feeling that I was being watched. John had been texting me saying he was sorry. His text started to get more worrying. He said, is there someone else? It looks like you've chosen someone else over me.
I'll never forgive myself for leaving that key out.
I just remember turning into the driveway and I could see a man standing there. And it was him. It was John.
All of a sudden, someone flies through the front door. I remember thinking, he's here, John's inside. My first thought because he's gonna kill me. And I had my mum's words in my ears. I don't want you to end up in a suitcase.
I just remember yelling at him. He needs to stay the hell away from May. He needs to stay the hell away from our house if he knows what's good for him.
Oh my God.
May.
It's not John. It's Ben.
It's okay, he was here, he's gone now. Okay? Hey, you okay?
I spoke to the police. They said, well, if we can get someone to you, we'll send them, but there's not a lot we can do. I checked the security camera footage and I found 3 hours worth of recordings of him outside. I was told the police would be in touch to take the proper details. They never called.
It was so disheartening to know that that wasn't considered dangerous enough.
We had the trespassing notice that had been broken. If that doesn't come with pretty serious consequences, then it makes you wonder what the point is, really.
In my room, there was a gap where my bed was, and then there was a wall. When I'd come home from work, and I would just get into this little wall, and I would spend all evening down beside my bed because he couldn't get me here.
I felt like she'd become a smaller version of herself. Her light seemed to have dimmed.
Every day we were asking, are they going to arrest him? Constant reply was, don't really know. Just felt like it was going nowhere. After everything that's happened, has he seriously come back?
We felt like the police weren't going to do anything. So if we're going to deal with this, we're going to have to deal with it ourselves.
Part of me wanted to tackle him. I guess in some ways I'm probably glad I didn't find him.
Someone said to the police, enough's enough. Someone has to come. After months of calling, they finally came.
I can remember them joking. That seemed really disrespectful to me.
Do you think this is really a serious threat? Is this maybe just in your head? Have you dramatised this?
They went outside to have a phone call. I don't think they realised we were actually recording their whole conversation. Their superior said, "You need to take this seriously. He is abusing her." As soon as they got off that call, their attitudes changed completely.
That night, they charged John and took him into custody. They called me the next day to say he'd been released on bail. What does that mean? He's just out in the public? And they said, yeah, but you've still got your trespass notices. But to be honest with you, May, if there was a time he wanted to get you, now would probably be the time. He's gonna be angry. You've done this to him. Maybe don't go home tonight. I just felt like I was back at the start. He fled New Zealand the next day. It's now 3 years down the line and he is still stalking me remotely. As more and more time passes, I've realised this was less about heartbreak and more about control. I'm not going to let you control my life anymore. I can't show my face in this documentary because if I do, what I say could be used against me in court. Meanwhile, he has no consequences. I'm Meg, I'm an actor, and I'm telling May's story because she can't tell it herself.